Welcome to Beyond the Rock's first Black Lives Matter talk show, Beyond the Lives. I'm Michaela Smith.
And I'm Megan Hart. Within society currently, the nation has seen injustices within how equality is being handled. These injustices include racism, police brutality, and the murders of Black people.
The world has seen this upset and has been moved to bring awareness to the inequality that the Black community faces every day. Individuals and groups all around the world are informing others about this through protests and through the media.
It all starts right now.
A movement has recently gained traction when on May 25th, 2020, a video of a 46-year-old man named George Floyd being strangled and killed due to 3 policemen surfaced on the internet.
George Floyd was not the only Black individual who was a victim of these injustices within the Black community. Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old who was sleeping in her home on March 13th, 2020, was mistakenly shot and killed by 3 Louisville Metro Police Department officers.
When media outlets bombarded the public about these events, people all over the world were outraged and started to form protests and advocate for change.
In this next story, Beyond the Lives shows us how people can gather together as a community to fight against the radical injustices we face every day.
No peace! No justice! No peace!
Within the past year 2020, innocent individuals in the Black community have had their lives taken. Some of the recent lives lost include George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, with injustices not being served for them and many more. A current upset in society has flourished. Social media has been filled for justice for Black lives. Across the nation, protests have formed in support for the sole purpose of promoting that Black Lives Matter.
No peace! No justice! No peace!
A few peaceful protests have happened in the West Michigan area, Rockford being one of them. And we were able to sit down with 2 of the organizers of this past summer's protest.
Hi, I'm Mishka Whitkin, and I am a senior right now at Rockford High School. Over the summer, I helped organize
the student-led Rockford for Black Lives Matter protest. So we wanted to organize the Black Lives Matter protest because of everything going around in the world today. We saw a lot of discrimination going on, and especially in the news, and also we know that, around Rockford there is a tendency for there to be a little bit of ignorance, and we wanted to raise awareness in our own community towards this so that we can elevate the Black voices in our community.
We kind of decided, this is super applicable in our community. As members of a predominantly white community, we kind of realized that it's super important to make sure that the minorities in our community feel included and safe.
The events have accomplished in moving a step forward for the movement.
This is what democracy looks like!
Yet, as society has showed, there is still more to come for this movement.
The importance of bringing inclusivity into our community.
This has been HanButz with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
It is so nice to know that the nation can come together despite going through tough times.
The world is leaning on one another to bring awareness for a powerful cause. Many cities are bringing attention and forming peaceful protests. Our local town, Rockford, was one of them. After a commercial break, we'll talk about how one town came together to bring change.
My name is Brody, and my favorite colors are black and white. There are so many cool things that are black and white, like my favorite stuffed panda and raccoon. Oh, and you cannot forget Oreos. It's not fair my mom only lets me eat 2 each day, but I secretly sneak more. And my favorite thing of all are referees, because without them, I could not play my favorite sport. Become a referee today.
Welcome back. Before the break, we looked at how the Black Lives Matter movement has brought communities together all over Michigan, including Detroit, Grand Rapids, and even our hometown of Rockford.
Multiple protests and events for Black Lives Matter were organized throughout the city. Many people came together to march and talk about the movement that's capturing everyone's attention.
Lauren Lewis has more information on what took place at these peaceful protests.
This past July, Rockford citizens came together for the current Black Lives Matter movement. This peaceful protest included many educational speakers.
Take away from this is that get out of your comfort zone and care about people. Don't see me as a threat. Don't see me as somebody that's going to do something wrong just because of the color of my skin.
It was really great to see everybody here showing their solidarity, and I want people to know that this isn't just like a trend and it can't just be left as a trend.
There is emotion behind this. There is, again, I just appreciated their approach.
The event was well organized and the message was spread throughout the Rockford community.
It's just absolutely wonderful, and I think the young people, all the young people that put it together did an awesome job, and their speakers, and they did a great job speaking themselves, you know, because you guys are the future.
Rockford is just one of the many who have hosted a BLM gathering in the West Michigan area.
I go to Greenville High School, and last month my closest friends and I put together a protest in under a week. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and to be able to attend this protest today, to spend time with like-minded strangers committed to equality, even if it's only for a few hours, means a lot to me.
This has been Lauren Lewis with Beyond the Rock.
Keep hope alive. I love you all.
Signing off.
Personally, I think it's amazing how a small town is coming together to support one another. And the protest was organized by high school students. They are definitely the next generation of advocates.
I agree. The students said that it took over a month of planning to make a peaceful protest happen. This peaceful protest was not the only one that took place in Rockford. During the month of October, another event was held advocating for the same purpose.
We were able to talk with Mishka Witkin on Zoom about their organized protest that they held in July.
It really is a common sense kind of thing, you know, like I see equality as just like more than important. To me, it's kind of like the bare minimum, and it like amazes me all the time how the USA, just like as a country, we're obviously super far from that. Over the summer, a group of students, a few of my friends and I recognized our community needed to see that, so that's what we put on. I think that it was really significant to see the amount of people that ended up showing up, and had a lot of speakers there who have dealt with firsthand experiences. Standing in solidarity, we need to let Black people speak and you know, once again, amplify their voices.
Thank you so much to Mishka Witkin for speaking to us today about the Black Lives Matter movement. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Being bullied day after day gets old. Doing nothing about it gets old too. Today I take things into my own hands. Adults tell you that drinking isn't the answer, but today, it's all I got. At least, I thought it was. Okay, see past the bottle. There's so much more we have to live for. It's not worth drinking it away.
Welcome back to Beyond the Lives. Before the break, we heard from one of the organizers of the Rockford BLM protest. It certainly is nice to see the town come together about something that's important to so many people.
Yeah, this movement has really made a huge impact on the lives of everyone. This wave of support for the movement was sparked by the recent rise in police brutality being brought to the media. This includes the murders of Malcolm Williams, Brent Martin, Elijah McClain, and hundreds more.
We were able to find out more about this current event in our next story.
There is police brutality out there, there's no doubt. I mean, you can't sit here and deny that it doesn't happen. It does happen.
Police brutality is when I am not justified in using any force, and I am intentionally and consciously trying to hurt you.
This past year, African Americans have been hurt and even killed with the unrighteousness with police brutality.
Police brutality or excessive force has been in the media quite a bit.
But the thing is, with social media right now, they focus so much on the bad, and that's all we're seeing is the bad.
Through social media, we only see one side of the story, but there's always the other side that we don't see.
The incident that happened in Minnesota, officer put his knee on George Floyd's neck. You never do that. We're not taught to do that. That's horrible. That's just not something you do.
There was also a peaceful protest downtown Grand Rapids that led to violence.
What we saw downtown in late May was a riot. And unfortunately, we don't have that happen very often, and it was kind of uncharted territory for us.
Territories that have rarely been seen in the city caused officers to find approaches to safely handle the situation.
To try to limit the amount of damage and injury that happens, you want to identify the agitators, the people that are instigating this riot, and then you want to remove them from that situation as quickly as possible.
One national crisis can lead to one local one. In the Rockford High School parking lot, one student's painted parking spot was vandalized.
It's sad to say that I kind of expected this to happen. I'm just very disappointed that someone would want to do that.
Even though this terrible thing happened, she's still staying positive with the help of her community.
The community is behind you, even if all you see is the negative aspect of it. There are people out there that do support us.
With police background checks, there are many good-hearted officers. However, there will be some untrustworthy people.
And some smaller departments just can't afford that. They can't afford to go that deep into their background checks.
And I truly believe that we are hiring character and we're training skill.
Police officers have to deal with many problems, one including discrimination.
No justice, no peace.
Like it's not us versus them.
But once we get the uniform on, that's where the hate comes in, and they see that symbol and it spews out all this aggression.
When I'm wearing this uniform, I'm no longer an individual. I represent something bigger than myself.
At the end of the day, we take our uniform off and we look just like everybody else.
In the end, we all want the same thing, equality. This has been Anna Carpenter with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
Seeing and listening to how society has been affected by riots and current upsets is really eye-opening. The world still has much to overcome to fix these injustices that we are facing right now.
I couldn't agree more. With everything that is going on in the world right now, we need to realize that police brutality is unacceptable, and we really need people sticking up for each other and supporting one another to turn this year around.
You are totally right. We all need to come together in society.
The year 2020 has served outrage by being unable to give equality to Black individuals. We've seen changes trying to be made through protests all around the country.
The Black Lives Matter movement is certainly not going anywhere. The world is still advocating for equal rights within the Black community. All over social media and across the globe, voices are still being heard for a change. As the movement continues to fight for change, always remember to stand up for what is right. That wraps up Beyond the Rock's first Black Lives Matter talk show, Beyond the Lives. Once again, I'm Michaela Smith.
And I'm Megan Hart. Thank you for joining us on Beyond the Lives. We'll see you soon.